Hey everyone, my name is Random Attributes, and in an ideal world, this game would need absolutely no introduction whatsoever. So, this is System Shock 2. It is the 1999 sequel to 1994's System Shock. If you are interested, I have a full playthrough of that on my channel, which I did earlier this year. It was a pretty good game. It's a bit janky in parts, but the atmosphere and the design is right up there in my opinion. It's well worth a look. System Shock 2 is the natural sequel to it, and it's one of the best games of all time. If you don't believe me, go look at Wikipedia. So I personally played this game about 15 years ago, I think. I can't remember. It was before another game came out, and we'll talk about that other game at some point in the playthrough, I'm sure, because that other game has many parallels with this. All that I really remember about it is that it's an absolutely phenomenal game up to a certain point. I remember 2 or 3 of the plot points, and the next thing that I'm about to mention. I've been holding off replaying this because there is an enhanced edition coming out soonish. It's not a full-blown remake, it's an enhanced edition which is based on the same, I want to say it's the same code, the same graphics, the same whatever else, that'll make it a bit easier to mod. But as of the time of recording this in August 2023, this is the original version of the game that has been modded a little bit. I'll bring up the list of mods in post, just on the left-hand side there, because I don't know what they all are off the top of my head, and trying to show them on screen right now is actually a bit tricky, so yeah. Before we take a look at the manual, however, there's one thing that we absolutely need to discuss immediately. I am, of course, talking about this. Chat, there may be a time in your life where you need to discreetly ask someone how old they are, or you may need to figure that information out without asking. And there are a number of ways you can do that. I'm not going to tell you all of them because other people will have their own methods and they're probably better than mine, but I'm going to tell you my method. Here's what you need to do. Just ask them a simple question. Hey, what's the video game with the worst implementation of weapon degradation? And listen carefully to their response. If they say, oh, it's The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, they're youngish. If they say, oh, it's The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, they're very, very young. If they say, oh, it's clearly any of the Yakuza games, then smile slightly and nod approvingly. That is definitely a legitimate answer to that question, but that is not the answer we're looking for today. There are a lot of very vocal opinions about System Shock 2's implementation of weapon degradation on the internet. I'm going to add my own. It's atrocious. This is the game where you can take a fully loaded assault rifle in pristine condition, hold down the trigger, and it will probably be broken or jammed before the magazine is empty. It's that bad. It's dreadful. The only other thing I really remember about playing this game the first time was, what is the counter to that? The counter is you either invest heavily in repair or maintenance, or you just use a wrench and go for a strength build. And that just kind of sucks in my opinion. So weapons breaking is a huge part of this game, and I acknowledge that. And Looking Glass Studios, rest in peace, also acknowledge that, because they patched something into the game to actually change the rate at which weapons degrade. In this case, it's user.cfg. In other games' cases, it would have been INI files, but you can literally just come into here and change the rate here. If it's set to 0, that means that weapons don't degrade. If it's set to 1, that means weapons degrade at their normal rate. It is a multiplier, basically. For today's playthrough, I know I'm going to upset the purists. I'm setting this to 0.7. That means that weapons will degrade at 70% of their normal rate. That means I still need to invest some points into repair and maintenance, but hopefully it shouldn't be as ridiculous as the original release. I know that's going to upset some people, and I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I do not want to go through the first playthrough of this game that I did many, many years ago, where I just went with the wrench. Because yeah, imagine that. You've got a wrench, you can pummel someone in the head 5,000 times and it won't break. But you can take an assault rifle or a pistol or whatever, fire it once or twice and just watch that durability melt away. So yeah, I'm going with that. I hope that's okay. Okay, so over to the manual to set the tone, the world of System Shock 2. It's not explicitly mentioned at the start of this, but it is in the intro, and if you can do math, it is here. But System Shock 2 takes place 42 years after the events on Citadel Station. There's about 4 pages of this, so I will try and get through this as fast as I can. In 2072, Earth and the colonies elsewhere in the solar system are governed by vast mega conglomerates, the largest of which is the Trioptimum Corporation. We dealt with those in System Shock 1. Most people have little to complain about, though there are rumours of strange research projects on mutated humans locked away in corporate labs. However, when a Trioptimum employee named Edward Diego, who we may or may not have murdered in the original, with the help of a hired hacker, who may or may not be us, released the ethical constraints on a powerful AI named Shodan, sentient hyper-optimized data access network on Citadel Station, everything changed. Shodan went rogue, killed most of the Citadel inhabitants, and transformed many of the rest into cyborgs. Only the actions of the hacker, overlooked at first by Shodan, were able to avert the destruction of Earth, as plotted in one of Shodan's many plans. The hacker destroyed a mining laser aimed at Earth and jettisoned a group of biological groves, laboratories in which Shodan was developing mutagenic viruses for use on Earth. He then blew... I thought the hacker was genderless in the first game. Ooh. Let me reword that. They then blew up a set of antennae through which Shodan planned to download her code into Earth's computers and, finally, destroyed the space station and Shodan herself. Earth's close call sent shockwaves throughout the world, and disturbing indications of similar rogue activity were discovered in several other corporate AIs. The events on Citadel Station have led to a general unrest and rebellion against mega-corporate governments. The previously ineffectual governments of Earth's nations were now banding together to form the Unified National Nominates, UNN, and stand up to the suddenly defensive corporations. Governmental controls over business were stepped up, and national governments instituted severe political controls, using newly built-up military forces and secret police to force control over society and business. Bureaucracy became the watchword of the day, and technological development slowed to a crawl, as everything had to be signed and countersigned in triplicates. Attempts were made by the UNN and national governments to take over megacorporate holdings completely, but the corporations were not yet powerless, and they made a stand. An ever-widening rift between the public and private sectors developed as governmental attempts to shut down non-compliance factories were met by well-armed Trioptimum soldiers and other mercenaries. Fuck. Complete civil war by the sounds of it. A wary truce settled between governmental and megacorporate forces, and things became stable. For a while. Now, 35 years later, with technological advances considerably slowed, the world has devolved further into a group of heavily armed rival regions. The UNN maintains strategic control, but has failed to win the hearts and minds of the lower classes. The unsteady truce between the public and private sectors holds shakily in place. Then, UNN Nobel Laureate Marie Delacroix, working under a grant from the dwindling resources of the skeletal Trioptimum Corporation, publishes preliminary research findings of a faster-than-light mechanism. The device works by bending and warping space around the device. However, Delacroix herself has serious concerns about the reliability of the device and its unexplored side effects. Once the rumours of the device are leaked out, the UNN is unable to control public enthusiasm. The UNN allows Trioptimum to develop a prototype, which tests successfully. Trioptimum then begins production of an FTL starship, the Von Braun, but the UNN refuses to let it out of the naval yards, citing various regulations about tests that must be done before approval can be given. Popular opinion is that the UNN simply doesn't want to let Trioptimum gain the amount of power that the only working FTL ship would grant it. By 2111, it is clear that the device performs as advertised. However, the potential side effects of its extended use remain unknown. The device has caught the imagination of the public, with the conditions on Earth worsening and the disappointing results of the in-system colonization. Wow, we're actually colonizing planets in system, okay. Hopes are high for brighter pastures outside the confines of our solar system. However, the UNN is loath to allow Trioptimum to be the principal beneficiary. Months of debate, negotiation, and threat-making ensue, culminating in the mysterious death of one of the most vocally anti-tribesman UNN officials. Before the government/corporate split comes to open war, however, a compromise is reached between the UNN and tribesmen, brokered by William Bedford Diego. Oh boy. A UNN Navy captain, husband of a tribesman board member, and the son of the infamous Edward Diego. Let's just break that down. He's a UNN Navy captain. He is the husband of a tribesman board member, so he is associated to Triumph through his wife. And he's the son of Edward Diego, who screwed things up back at Citadel Station back in the day. He's definitely someone we need to watch out for. The Von Braun will be allowed to make a maiden FTL voyage, but only with an accompanying UNN escort. The military heavy destroyer Rickenbacker will be tethered to the Von Braun for the FTL journey via a complex set of interlocks between the two ships' systems. UNN personnel will be stationed aboard the Rickenbacker, ready to deal with any hostile aliens. A fanciful news video shows hypothetical footage of the two ships facing a fleet of menacing alien ships and of the Rickenbacker detaching to fight while the Von Braun escapes. So how's the Rickenbacker going to get out? How are they, what happens? They fight the aliens and then they just wait for the Von Braun to come and rescue them? Or are they just abandoned in space? The excitement once again fuels talk of discovering extraterrestrial forms of life, a topic more or less forgotten since exploration of the solar system turned up only a series of barren, lifeless landscapes. Anatoly Kerenchkin, a brutally effective tribesman executive, is chosen as the captain of the Von Braun despite Captain Diego's objections. Ooh, so they're against each other. Okay. There are strong and fairly substantiated suspicions that Kerenchkin ordered the assassination of the UNN official some months earlier. That official was unnamed. He was probably responsible, apparently. Okay. Marie Delacroix is appointed the Von Braun's chief engineer, tasked with keeping her nascent FTL drive functioning. Dr. Delacroix is vocal about preferring a longer period of testing for the FTL drive and goes on record as saying that the ship is not yet ready for the field. However, pressure to launch the mission is growing daily, and the Von Braun/Rickenbacker mission embarks in early 2114. A few months into its historical journey, the situation has begun to deteriorate. Tension is running high between the civilian elements of the Von Braun and their military counterparts on the Rickenbacker. In addition, Delacroix's predictions prove to be accurate, as the Von Braun is plagued with numerous malfunctions. The coolant tubes on the engineering deck are constantly leaking, the scrubbers in the air recirculators on the hydroponics deck have a tendency to pump out pure carbon dioxide, and the integration of the core computer system, Xerxes, is buggy and inefficient. These events only exacerbate the tension between the military and civilian elements of the expedition, though there is limited fraternization between the crew of the Von Braun and that of the Rickenbacker, as a complex web of interpersonal relationships begins to form. Still, after 4 months in space, it becomes clear that something is going to come to a head. The exact timing and severity of the conflict is all that remains to be determined. And then, the remarkable happens. On June 10, 2114, the transceiver on board the Von Braun begins receiving fragments of a distress beacon emanating from the Tau Ceti system, billions of miles outside the borders of colonized space. We found aliens, boys. We found aliens. The key characters, I won't read all of this, so I'll just summarize. Anatoly Kerenchkin, he is the CEO of the Tribesman FTL research ship of Von Braun. He's also the captain. He was also potentially involved in an assassination, which makes him a very colourful character indeed. We have William Bedford Diego, who is the captain of the Rickenbacker, the destroyer that is piggybacked upon the Von Braun, a popular military hero after the Battle of Boston Harbor. He's made it perfectly clear he has no patience for tribesman political manoeuvring. And yet he's the husband of someone on the board. Curious. He's also the son of Edward Diego, and I don't know how old Edward Diego was when... Well, actually, that doesn't matter, because there's 42 years difference. He's at least 42 years old. If we said he was of age in the events of system shock, then maybe he's about 60 or so. Marie Delacroix, principal designer of the FTL drive, primary investigator on the von Braun. I think she's also the chief engineer. Yep, Marie Delacroix is appointed the chief engineer. We have Melanie Bronson, security chief on the von Braun, takes her job very seriously, considered by some of the tri-optimum crew to be a hardliner. The Rickenbacker military doesn't take her seriously. We have Janice Polito, who is the senior systems analyst aboard the von Braun. She wrote a book about AIs in the something post-Shodan era. She was brought on board to help monitor the Xerxes system and make sure it is respecting its protocols and functioning correctly. We'll be hearing from her very shortly. And we've got Xerxes. We don't have Shodan this time. Shodan's not a part of this. We have Xerxes instead. Xerxes is the operating system responsible for the primary data loop, allocates billions of onboard subtasks, delegating them to hundreds of thousands of systems. The computing power aboard the von Braun is not completely under Xerxes' control. Clever hackers can bypass that system and gain temporary control of certain critical subsystems, and that was implemented as a safety measure on the recommendation of Dr. Polito here to try and prevent a repeat of what happened on Citadel Station. We, on the other hand, we are, quote, a soldier assigned to the mission. You wake up to find yourself with a military-grade set of cybernetic implants and no memory of the last week's events. It's your job to find Dr. Polito and help get things back in order. Don't read that. That's spoilers. Don't read that. Stuff on the right, don't read that. That's all spoilers. Alright, so after that long and incredibly rambling intro, the time has come. I'm going to be playing on normal difficulties today. As much as I would like to play on hard, I'm worried that it's going to be too hard for me or I'm going to get stuck. And the reason for that is, unlike System Shock 1, this game has very specific character builds where you invest your points into skills and stats and things, and I'm terribly terrified that I may work myself into an unwinnable situation. So, along with the gun degradation mod that I've put on earlier, and some of the graphical mods that I've put on earlier, I'm just going to play this on normal difficulty. Let's take a look.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
And I think that's the last time we see or hear of Shodan, unfortunately. It's Xerxes this time.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
This is Dr. Marie Delacroix of the UNN Von Braun. force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship... Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
That didn't sound good. Marie Delacroix said that the ship has been hijacked by something unknown and that it wasn't to leave under any circumstances. That did not sound good.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN recruitment facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
4 years earlier. Yeah, this was also in the manual. The manual is thick, but basically we are a military soldier of some sort, and we're expected to go on a 4-year tour of duty. We have 3 years of training, and then the 4th year is spent on the UNN Rickenbacker. So presumably we're currently on there right now, but we're seeing what happened 4 years earlier. To street level.
Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street level recruitment.
That one goes down, this one goes up. Yeah, some of the mods that I've installed definitely have cleaned up a lot of these textures. Trioptimum. We heard the ding 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 sound effect that we've heard so many times before. I don't know if we're going to hear that much throughout the rest of the game though. We're going to be on board the Von Braun, and that is a triop ship, so I assume so. Also, just really quickly, I'll talk about the subtitles later, but there aren't terribly many subtitles during this game. I do apologise. Please direct any complaints to Looking Glass Studios. Also, they went out of business about 22 years ago, so that may be difficult.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the Basic Training Center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the Advanced Training area.
Alright. I did not go in here in my testing.
To pick up some basic skills you'll need to get by in the service, enter this CyberLink booth. Inside, you'll learn the basic skills you'll need to get started. Welcome, trainee. While you're in our virtual training courses, we provide you with a simulated cyber interface. This training interface is identical to an actual military-grade cyber interface. Now, let's try it out. Move the mouse. See how it changes where you look? That means you're in shoot mode. Hit the tab key. This puts you in use mode, where you can use your mouse to interact with items in the world. Open your primary MFD, or multifunction display, by clicking on the MFD button near the bottom of the screen. This display shows your strengths in various areas. When you're ready to continue, press the tab key to go back to shoot mode. Try changing between modes until you get the hang of it. Follow the red path along the ground to the next training station.
We are definitely not doing a side build today, chat. That is not happening. I'm going to be in the Navy today.
To pick up items, center them on your screen and right-click. This will automatically place that item into your inventory. To view your inventory, press the tab key. You can move items around your inventory by left-clicking and dragging them around. To drop an item, drag it from your inventory into the 3D view and release the mouse button.
I've got no idea why our size stat is like that. I assume it's just for training purposes, but that's crazy. I've never seen it that high.
To use items like buttons in computers, center them in your view and click the right mouse button. All usable items will have brackets around them. Highlight the button on the pillar and right-click. This will activate the lift. Try it out. If you can still see your inventory display, it means you're in use mode. Hit tab to return to shoot mode.
Okay, so we can actually use items in use mode. Can I go up that lift? Invisible lift.
The object before you is a med hypo. Pick it up, and then press Tab to go into Use Mode. Right-clicking on the Med Hypo will use it and restore some needed hit points. Your hit points are displayed by a bar in the lower left corner of your screen. Many objects in your inventory can be used by right-clicking on them.
That's kind of rubbish. We have a red med hypo, but the red corresponds to psi points, whereas green corresponds to health points. Crazy.
See the crate in front of you? To search it, center it on your screen and right-click. If you are in use mode, simply move the pointer to the crate and right-click. To take an item from that container, simply left-click on it. This will automatically place that item in your inventory. To close the container window and return to shoot mode, press the Tab key. One of the most important tools you have as a soldier is your PDA. This device stores audio logs, emails, and other useful information. Click on the disk icon near the bottom of your screen to bring up the PDA display. Currently, the contents of your PDA are empty. Now pick up the audio log in front of you.
Spoilers, you're telling me about an engineering deck and a med sci deck. Oof. Press the U key to play the log you just picked up, so that's a shortcut.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play any audio log or email you've received. In the field, the PDA is also used for keeping track of your current mission objectives and obtaining help information.
Yeah, so with respect to subtitles, this is pretty much all we've got. If we get a message coming in which adds itself to the PDA as an email, I can quickly bring up the PDA if I have time, if I'm not being shot or if I'm not dying, and we can click on it here to restart the message and read it together.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play.
Like that.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play any audio log or email you've received. In the field, the PDA is also used for keeping track of your current mission objectives and obtaining help information. Now it's time to learn about jumping and mantling. To jump, simply press the space bar. Some surfaces can be mantled onto by holding down the space bar. Mantling lets you pull yourself up to ledges and other high places in front of you. Give it a try.
Okay, we are Thief the Dark Project now. Which honestly makes a lot of sense because this apparently is the same engine.
To climb a ladder, simply walk into it and look upward. You'll automatically start climbing the ladder.
Yeah, ladder cages weren't invented until Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Alright, let's get out of here.
You've done well. Remember, if you're unclear on any aspect of what you've just learned, you can repeat the training as often as you wish.
Alright, well that was fun. Let's go into advanced training.
If you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here. Advanced training will familiarize you with the 3 key areas of military service: weapons training, technical training, and psionics training. Approach the Cyberlink booth of your choice to train in that area. When you finish training in the 3 areas, proceed directly to the recruitment center to choose and start your military career.
I'll do all 3, but I don't intend to touch psi skills throughout this playthrough.
Alright, wannabe. If you want to learn the weapon skills it takes to even think about joining the Marines, come on in. We're looking for a few good men.
That's a nod.
Good to have you on board. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, the UNN has kindly provided you with a virtual cyber interface and all the simulated skill levels you'll need for the training tasks. But don't get too cocky. They'll disappear once you leave the booth. Now we'll teach you how to handle a firearm. Pick up the pistol and the clip from the table. You can equip the weapon in one of 2 ways. Bring up your inventory and drag the pistol to your weapons equip slot near the right-hand side of your inventory. If that's too slow for you, you can use the hotkeys on the keyboard. Press 2. If the pistol was in your inventory, it will equip for you automatically. To lock and load the ammo clip, hit the R key or hit the reload button on the lower right corner of your screen. Once you've loaded the firearm, take a shot at the dummy robot by pressing your left mouse button when in shoot mode. Notice how its health bar gets shorter as you chip away at it.
You want me to shoot this thing, but wasn't it just talking to me? Those graphics. Sorry, just taking a look at audio and making sure everything's good.
Some items need to be charged with energy before they can be used. Pick up the laser pistol. Now use the recharging station nearby. The recharge station will juice up all of your energy-based items. Weapons, batteries, you name it.
Cool, can I shoot you now? Yeah, that's number 5 on the keyboard. Also, that's using 3 shots per shot.
Weapons are not fine wines. They do not get better with age. The colored dot on the lower right corner of the screen tells you what kind of shape your firearm is in. Green is good, red is bad. To fight the effects of wear and tear, a soldier with maintenance skill can use a maintenance tool to improve the condition of his weapon. Just pick up the tool, open your inventory, and drag the tool onto your pistol. Remember that maintenance tools are only good for a single use.
That brought it up from 5 to 10. So it's in perfect condition now. That's it? Really? That's how easy it is to shoot guns. Yeah, so I've turned down the rate of weapon degradation, but in the original it was bad. I suspect it's turned down for training as well, because under normal circumstances that would be like about 7 or 6 right now, but at the moment it's just 9. Yep, that's fine. I'll deal with it.
Good work. Now you're ready for the Marines. Take a look at the other training areas first before you enlist. They might just come in handy.
And that's how easy it is to become a Marine, chat.
Inside, we'll teach you the basics of some technical skills you'll need in the Navy. Welcome. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, we'll provide you with a temporary cyber interface and the skills you need to accomplish the training tasks. But they'll only last so long as you're in the booth. The object in front of you is a container of nanites. Nanites are consumed whenever you perform technical tasks, such as hacking or repairing. When you pick up the container of nanites, they do not go in your general inventory, but are instead displayed in use mode on the bottom left of your screen. Walk over to the keypad by the door and try out hacking.
Nanites are basically currency, as I understand it. Alright, I don't remember this. Initiative difficulty 50%, hack skill 3, negative 30, cyber stat negative 1, negative 5, sorry. Final difficulty 15, 1 ICE node. Don't know what that means. It's definitely not internal combustion engine. What do I have to do? I think from memory, all you need to do is just get 3 to line up, like that, for example. I'll have to look at that in the manuals.
Use the keypad by right-clicking on it. To the right of the number pad, you'll see an orange tab labeled Hack. Left-click on the tab. Text will appear indicating the difficulty of the hack and any bonuses that apply. Click on the Start button to begin hacking. You'll see a grid of nodes. Clicking on a node will either turn it bright or dark. To successfully hack, you must connect 3 bright nodes in a straight line. Beware the ICE nodes with the red outlines. If one of these turns dark, you fail the hack, and you might break the item you're working on or worse. You can restart your hack attempt at any time by hitting the reset button, though you'll have to pay the nanite cost again.
Ooh, okay. I see. So we can actually get to a point where we can compromise the thing, but as long as we didn't break the ice node, we're okay. Ice node disabled. Okay, cool.
You can use nanites to buy items from replicators. To use a replicator, right-click on it. Then left-click on the item you wish to
Please
purchase.
make your selection.
The item you purchased will drop into the slot below. Make sure you
Thank you
pick up your
for
purchases
choosing
before you
Value
leave.
Wrap. Thank you for choosing Value Wrap.
Superior selection of items. Okay.
Hi there. Please make your selection.
Reinitialized.
Hey, Xerxes. Anti-personnel bullets. Yeah, we won't learn how to load those in training, will we? And those are cheaper as well. Those were 40 a moment ago. That's all we need to know to join the Navy. Wow.
You learned the basics of the technical skills. There are several other technical skills you'll learn throughout the course of your career, such as repairing items and modifying weapons. The cyber interfaces for these tasks are similar to the hacking interface. Before you enlist in the Navy, try out the other training courses. They'll be useful.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the interface. Like, I'm pushing tab right now and nothing's showing up, so we are quote-unquote human right now.
Inside, you will learn how to reach out with your mind. Do not let fear block your path.
Mysterious.
We've provided you with a virtual interface and the temporary ability to project simulated psionic powers. Once you leave this area, these powers will be lost to you.
Don't ask me what any of this stuff is. I had a very quick look at the manual and I got very confused.
The red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have. Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station.
So unlike health, this regenerates instantly, whereas health, you need to use it and then wait.
This psi amp amplifies your psi powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the psi amp activates your currently selected psi discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, cryokinesis and kinetic redirection. Go into use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen.
Ooh.
This will cycle through your available psi disciplines. Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select psi disciplines from higher tiers. Use cryokinesis to destroy the robot and kinetic redirection to pull that nanite container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of psi points, use another psi hypo.
I have no hypos. Yeah, I've got some bad memories of trying this out in the past and looking at this and going, nah, this is too hard. Are there hotkeys and things? I don't know. I should really check that, shouldn't I? Alright, I'm not holding that down. I just did a single click and that was it. Spooky. Yeah, I am interested in doing a psi build one day, but today is not that day.
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process. Return to this area if you need more guidance. Before you enlist in the OSA, it would be useful to experiment in the other training courses.
So, OSA, Navy, Marines. I think I've said enough.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. A shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
Yeah, look at the graphics up there. These, unfortunately, were not upscaled by the mods because they're actually a little bit tricky, but it sort of meshed well with the graphics back in 1999. But playing in 2K right now with these glorious textures and whatnot, they just don't look good. Alright, today we're joining the Navy. And off we go, and we were never heard from again. You're just dumping me in here with no escort and no people to greet me? No, nothing.
Welcome aboard the space station Chesapeake Bay, sailor. It looks like you've picked up some standard weapon skills at basic on Coronado Island. Now it's time for your tour of duty. Your tour will consist of 4 postings over 4 years. In this man's Navy, you're given a choice of 3 different postings a year. It's up to you to decide what kind of career you want to have, so choose wisely. Just approach a shuttle bay to receive a briefing on a posting. If you think that posting is right for you, head into that bay to accept the assignment.
So much choice. I mean, it's clearly fictional. You don't get a choice in the actual... whatever. Where am I going? Not going that way. Following the arrows. This game seems so simple. You just follow the arrows and go everywhere. What's that about the Christmas party sign up? Yeah, all of this has been modded, so I don't know if this is how it looked in the original or whether someone's had some fun with the upscaling and redoing the textures and whatnot. God, this game needs a remake so badly. Alright, what have we got? Something UNN Lucille, Engineers Mate, Military Police, or Ship's Ops.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data control systems. You'll get your feet wet with the high-tech systems, but also expect some heavy lifting.
Hack and strength.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an engineer's mate to help maintain the ship's core energy systems. There's some heavy lifting involved, sailor, but you'll learn your way around the high-tech equipment. The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. Those sailors can get pretty rowdy on these year-long cruises, so you better not be afraid of a tussle.
Didn't think we'd need military police for that, but whatever. So +1 to strength for all. We get hack, repair, or modify. I was talking about repair and modify earlier, so naturally that means I need to choose hack.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data...
Yeah, if you want a graphics comparison, check out that cutscene compared to the room where I first spawned. It's the same room. February 13, 2112. Your tour of duty aboard the UNN Lucille has concluded. You spent a productive year. Captain Meyer was pleased with your work, especially with the initiative you showed in physical training. A friendly ensign, how do you pronounce that word? Logging up.
He was a young ensign, just 23 years old, commanding a small tanker.
Ensign is an American pronunciation. The first person I heard saying that word was Barack Obama, so we're going with ensign. A friendly ensign showed you some backdoors into the ship's primary data loop, and he spent your time off pumping good old-fashioned iron. We've gained 1 hack and 1 strength, so this is kind of like a visual novel. God, this game was so far ahead of its time. We're in the same corridor. Year 2. What is that, Laverne or Leman? I can't read that. Resolution's so low. I want to say that's Levem. Tactical Training School. Pierce, Ordnance Master. Carfax Navigators, mate.
The UNN Carfax is undertaking a mission to examine a newly discovered Class B comet approaching the outer solar system. You'll likely pick up some useful skills working with the high-tech navigation systems aboard this newly commissioned heavy cruiser.
Cyber affinity stat?
The UNN Pierce is ferrying liberated political prisoners back home from their detention near Saturn. The Pierce has been assigned a detachment of Marines and needs sailors to load, administer, and maintain the arms on board the ship.
Maintenance?
Laverne, Florida hosts the Navy's premier tactical training school. While maybe not as respected as the Marines facility at Fort Bush, there's a lot to be learned here.
Yeah, I do want standard weapons. I mean, I did turn down the degradation for a reason. So I'm sacrificing maintenance and cyber affinity stat. Your tour of duty at the Laverne Tactical Training School has concluded. A year of firing ranges, mock boarding parties, and war games has done you good. You spent plenty of time with military-grade pistols, assault rifles, and even auto shotguns. Very nice. Gain 2 standard weapons. Last one. Yamamoto 0G, IO survival training, and Marie Curie.
The Navy's Marie Curie research facility on Aquinas 4 is currently conducting research on a new strain of spaceborne virus that killed 220,000 citizens of New Atlanta.
Jesus!
To lift the quarantine, we must determine how the virus pierced the city's micronanite shielding.
Okay, well, that sounds interesting.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros? There's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons? The 21.2% mortality rate.
Damn. So there's just under an 80% chance we'll survive.
The Navy strongly encourages every sailor to undertake some amount of zero-G training. A year at the Yamamoto space station in Earth's orbit will more than suffice.
Thinking endurance or research. I think I will go research. Endurance is hit points from memory and possibly another thing or two, but I know research is very important from what I recall.
The Navy's Marie Curie research facility on Aquinas 4 is currently conducting...
Something that killed 220,000 people. That's not good. Your tour of duty at the Marie Curie Research Facility has concluded. Congratulations on surviving the disaster, sailor. When the saboteurs removed the safety seals and released the virus into the atmospheric control regulators, you were one of the few to reach safety in time. Jesus. Sabotage. Wow. However, you were able to pick up a few odds and ends of research techniques before the crap hit the fan. That's putting it mildly. It was sabotage, the virus was released, it had already killed 220,000 people, it's now killed even more. I wonder if we found a cure. Doesn't matter. Reassign. William Diego, Rickenbacker, to soldier. Yep, okay, here we go. Your application to join the crew of the Rickenbacker has been approved. That was year 4. Report to Shuttle Mayfair at Port Francisco at 0400 on something 14th, 2114, whatever. Get ready to become part of history.
Shuttle A138, you have clearance for landing on the Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
5 months later, near Tau Ceti V, 67 trillion miles, we've detected an alien signal.
Reinitializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory.
Why was our memory wiped?
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the computer ops staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now.
There's a lot to unpack there. We volunteered for an operation to get a cyber interface because something's gone wrong.
Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
Critical decompression hazard in the cryo recovery suite. Evacuate immediately.
Alright, there's a lot going on here. Bloodstains. Lovely. So we just popped out of one of these tubes. We've just had an interface installed. Down the bottom left, over here. This is all here. This is brand new. We lost our memory. I don't know why they had to wipe our memory to do part of that procedure, but whatever. They tried to restore the memory. Something went wrong. We don't know all the events. Dead body. The first thing you want to see after you wake up in the morning. A dead body. Hopefully it's no one we knew. We have a very solid wrench. And yeah, with respect to the voiceovers, if I can get here quickly enough, I can remember where it is. I'll try.
Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
If I've got time to get there, I will get there so that we can listen to it and read it together. If I'm under attack or if I'm dying or whatever, it may not be an option, so we'll just play it by ear, I think. Alright, I hope you know one on you. Alright, this is a duct apparently. Let's get rid of it. Jesus.
The vacuum shield won't last long. Get through a secure airlock before you're sucked into space. Move it!
Alright, fine. Let's get through an airlock. The blue vacuum shield, what the hell is that? Cyber interface. Many of your actions are now cyber enhanced. Your cyber interface supports 2 modes. Yeah, we learnt all this. Right clicking, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not reading all this. I know all this shit. If it's new, I'll read it. If not, no. Cryogenic sector access card. There we go. Alright, can we hack you? We can, but... 9 ICE nodes, what the fuck? Alright, we're not getting through there, screw that. PDA, email, log, info, kiosk, note you find on board. It also contains an automatic note-taking utility. I need to get out of here because this noise is too loud. Audio log, Amanpour, 7th of July. What is today's date? Today's the 12th, so this was 5 days earlier.
Great. Gotta change the access codes
Sorry.
out of cryo. Great. Gotta change the access codes out of cryo A again. Like I've got nothing better to do. I think
set the new code to 45100. That should be easy enough to remember.
Of course, 45100. It wouldn't be an immersive sim unless there's a 451 code. Why is she running? Oh!
Warning. Decompression event imminent. Please move immediately to cryo recovery B. Decompression event imminent.
I would have asked what's wrong with her back, but she just got hit in the back with a shotgun, so it seems wildly inappropriate. We have another wrench for no good reason.
Airlock door inoperative. Auxiliary power override failure. Please replace power cell.
This power cell is dead. There should be a recharge. This power cell is dead. There should be a recharger nearby. Just use it and it will recharge all the power-driven devices in your possession. After you've recharged the cell, plug it into the auxiliary power unit. That should open the airlock door. Be quick about it. The vacuum seals won't hold up much longer.
Just quietly, I think she's lying. I think the vacuum seals will hold up until we get out of here. Dead power cell. Right click to recharge all items. And then I think we have to drag and drop it into here. Like that.
Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. Good.
Damn it.
Managed to get out. Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. I've just uploaded you some cybernetic modules. You can use them to upgrade your cybernetic rig at the upgrade units in this area. There are 4 types of units in the next room. One for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear. Stats, psi, weapons, and tech. But use the modules carefully. They're hard to come by.
So it's these things here, 4 cyber modules, and we can use those to upgrade our stats. Maps. To access maps for a section of the level, enter use mode. We're in use mode right now, and click on the map icon, this thing here. The map will display rooms that we've already been to and will highlight the room that we're currently in. If you have the spatially aware operating system upgrade, the map will also display the areas you have not yet been to. Position is indicated by a red pointer. Many useful common items such as replicators and upgrade units are marked with a key. You can place navigation markers by hitting the N key. This will mark your current position with a small triangle. Maybe selected when you have the full map selected. If you click the mini-map on the main map display, a small portion of the map will be displayed in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Okay. So if I click on map here, we get this, and unfortunately this has not been upscaled. And this is actually the sort of thing which is very hard to do, I think. So we are here, in set lower level. If we hit N, apparently that does something. So I can place these diamonds around the place. And those will show on the map. We can rename those apparently. Alright, let's get rid of all these. Let there be light. MFD, yeah, we kind of saw that. Stats, tech, combat, and psi. We have nothing in stats apart from 2 in strength. We don't know repair, modify, or maintain, which is not great. Softwares, don't know what these are, don't remember these. Combats, we know a fair bit of standard weaponry. That's good. That's really good. We don't know any of the others though. We don't know energy, heavy, or exotic. And we're clueless about psi. I don't need a second wrench. Let me just get rid of that. 10 nanites. What else do we have here? We've got the map. Nanites. Modules. A button to call up reports on anything we've researched, which is the test tube icon. And a query button question mark, which will give you an expanded help text on items in your inventory. Are you telling me I can do this? Oh, hell. I'm not reading all this out. When you hit someone over the head with 22 pounds of steel, they tend not to appreciate it. Taz Manpour, VB. That was the person we got a, where's my emails? Yeah, this person here. Alright, we need to get to deck 4. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Also, the mini-map. Oh, cool. Okay. I think I will... I do love the way that the, like, legend is showing up here. That's actually very funny. It's literally looking at this, just zoomed in. Alright, where am I going? I assume that just takes me around. Yep. Place is falling apart. Cryo recovery. Alright, so I want to upgrade things. I have to spend modules, and this is going to increment things by 1 tier, and it costs way too much. It costs 12 to move from 0 to 1, which is crazy. Yeah, can't upgrade anything there either. Although, look at this. It costs 5 to upgrade from 1 to 2, but it costs 10 to upgrade from 0 to 1. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Because if you know nothing about something, it costs you a lot to actually learn a little bit. But then, once you've learnt about it, you can move up to the next tier a bit more easily. I kind of like that. Oh, okay, so we could spend some points to upgrade one of our stats here. Endurance is hit points. Psionics is no. Agility is movement speed, falling damage, and weapon kickback. And Cyber is successfully using the hack, repair, and modify skills. That could come in useful if I had repair and hack. So I'll hang on to these 4 modules for now, but maybe I need to invest some points into Cyber. Oh, you've got 4 sub modules yourself. Okay. In that case, I think I'll put one in here right now. And that increases our stat there. Software helps us to perform the various technical tasks such as hacking, repairing, and modifying higher levels, blah, 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 blah. Something about dangerous nodes. The exact details on any given task will be indicated in the MFD when you attempt to perform it. And yet there's no software around here that I can see. Oh, wait. Audio log. Grassy, 5 days ago. Who are you and what's your story?
Hey Doc, a security bot showed up with orders from you to place this grunt into the recovery freezer. I'm no cyber doc, but I know a plant job when I see one. I suppose you know they outlawed R-grade cyber goodies after that fiasco back on Citadel Station. But hey, I just work here, right?
Poliso ordered a security bot to put us into the recovery freezer. Just trying to get my head around this. Poliso did the operation, by the looks of it, and then brought us down to put us into recovery. Lance job when I see one. Yeah, this interface wasn't here 5 days ago, clearly. Or maybe it was 5 days ago, but we were put in here 5 days ago for recovery. So Poliso knows about us for sure. Medical hypo, we're at full health. Information, computer hacking. Yeah, I'm not reading this. I don't have the code for this. Can I hack this? Final difficulty 50%. 0 ICE. We've got 15 nanites. Let's see what we can do. Right, we're not getting through there. All that.
Security access compromised. Security access compromised.
And that there is Xerxes. We don't have Showdown this time. We have Xerxes instead. What have we got? Braun boost implants. And speed boosters. Nothing up on the top shelf there? No. What are these? 20 seconds of double speed. Popular among high school students for a dangerous street sport of crash careening. The speed boost hypo can also be invaluable in emergencies. Increases the user's strength by 1, burning up 1% of its charge every 10 seconds. The implant acts to circumvent many of the legal restrictions on athletic pharmaceuticals by avoiding any actual drugs and simply stimulating the musculature with electric and magnetic impulses. Alright, so we can equip that. So that will last 1,000 seconds. Don't know if we can charge that thing or... Let me try that very quickly. So that increases our strength by 1, I believe. Yep. Which should be great if we're going for a strength build. Can I get back out here? No, okay. Don't have access to the charger. When I find another charger... Yeah, I wasn't imagining that. Look at that. That gives us more space. When I find another charger, I'm going to see if I can charge that back up, or if that is its own thing. Oh, if only I had some psi skills right now. Like I said, if only I had some psi skills right now. I'm not going to pick that up. There's literally no points. If I had pull, I could actually grab those items, but I'm not going to. Psi disciplines? No thank you.
Can somebody let me out? I can't find my card. Please, let me out of here.
You're a ghost. You don't deserve to be let out. Science sector access needed. Equipping weapons, yep, we know about that. We either drag them or we use the numbered buttons on our keyboard to select a number, which selects a weapon. Science sector access card, easy. Alright, let's get out of here.